So you want to get a gun in Nightingale? Well, how do you unlock them? How do you craft them? I'm going to give you top tips today. Leave a like if you find it useful. Check out the rest of my Nightingale content. Come watch me stream on a daily basis on Twitch TV, JADE-PLAYS-GAMES. Let's go. So guns are all locked behind the provisioner realms. You need to obviously complete the tutorials and go through some of the abeyance realm, unlocking the first sight of power, and then after that it should take you through upgrading some stuff like applying your first infusion and visiting your first antiquarian realm. Now I'm not showing every single one of them steps because we'd be here all day. Nightingale is a bit of a complicated game in that respect, but they are the basics of how you get to the stage that you'll unlock the provisioner realms. Once you've travelled to the Antiquarian realm, met Oberon, the NPC, he'll give you a few missions and then it will tell you to pretty much go and clear out the provisioner site of power, which should now be showing properly on your map on the abeyance realm. Each one of the provisioner realms, the swamp, forest and desert, has a different gun. If you visit a provisioner forest, you'll come across an NPC who will have some missions for you, and that will unlock some of the crafting stations you're going to need to go ahead and make these guns. So this should be the first one that you head to. His name's Bass Reeves. It will show up on the minimap where to go and find him. He'll want to see that you're proficient already using a sling bow, so make sure you've crafted one and you've got some ammo to bring over. And once you've done that little quest for him, he then unlocks the refined workbench, which you need to go ahead and craft the guns. You will also need a refined smelter, which is the brazier, the refined workbench obviously, and a refined saw bench, as well as a refined tannery and a refined stonemason's table to go ahead and make gunpowder. All of these can be bought at the other NPC you'll find on this realm. The forest also has where you get the Lancaster pistol, and this is the gun that I recommend you buy first. A bulk of your time in the next few hours is going to be spent using or going across certain realms and taking on certain bosses where you definitely want to have your umbrella in your hand. And so the obviously pistol is the only one-handed weapon. Of course it's up to you, but that's just a little top tip from me. I don't think it's particularly as powerful obviously or better than a shotgun or a rifle, but in terms of how you're going to be using it, you'll get more use out of the pistol first. Remember, you can check where everything is sold and what is sold by looking in the crafting area or journal in the menus, and then you should be able to find the traders section, and it lists exactly what each trader across every realm sells. If you want the rifle, you're going to have to go to the provisioner swamp, and the shotgun can be found at the desert provisioner realm. So at the moment there are 3 different pistols, 3 different rifles and 2 shotguns. You won't be getting access to the rest of the different weapons until you make it to the watch and explore the ascended realms. So this pistol or this shotgun or this rifle is going to be the only one that you have for a good amount of time. So you want to make sure you invest in crafting it with some of the best resources you have, which I'll explain a little bit at the end. You will obviously need lots of essence to go ahead and buy some of these recipes if you want all of them. And on top of all that, to actually craft these guns, you will also need to make sure you've got the right augments. The augmentations are what you put near your crafting benches obviously, and they will also allow you to craft this stuff as long as you've bought and own the recipe. Now you can get these augmentation recipes for free by completing encounters, and they just randomly be given to you sometimes. So you might want to check that you might have unlocked one already. But to make the pistol and the ammo, you're going to need the simple saddle rack, and you'll find that at the Forest Astrolabe trader. To make the rifles and some elemental shotgun ammo, you will need the crude ammo box, which you find at the Desert Astrolabe essence trader. And to make the shotgun shells and obviously get the next shotguns as well, you'll need to go to the Desert Antiquarian essence trader to buy a crude tea set. Again, some of these you'll probably have got as rewards for completing randomly some of the encounters. If not, you will have to buy all of these augmentations. It's also a good idea to pick up the test or training dummy. You'll find this in the Swamp Antiquarian trader, and he will give you access to some charms that are really good for guns and getting more out of your shots. So once you're back at your base, it's time to get started. First off should be your brazier, as you're going to need a lot of mechanical components to craft your gun. And these normally take the longest to smelt down, obviously making sure you've got plenty of augmentations to speed the process up. You'll notice in the original simple smelter, you've only got 5 different things you can craft. But as soon as you upgrade and get the brazier, you'll have a whole ton of different items that you can now place. As I said, do use some of the augmentations as well, as it will speed up the process, and some components might be locked behind them. But I think you're alright for the brazier at the moment, crafting guns. The crude grindstone and the bellows are both good and probably the early access ones that you'll get to hopefully speed up processing. A lot of the guns rely on an action as well as obviously stocks and barrels, and you'll need to make a lot of mechanical gears, which are obviously going to require a lot of ingots. So start this process off first, make sure you've got your ingots ready and you started making some of the components before you move on to making the saw table, the refined version and the refined tannery. If you now look inside the refined workbench that you've just placed, you will now find the guns. They won't appear in a simple workbench. So for the handgun, we're going to need an action and a barrel, which you craft at the brazier. The wrap you'll craft or utilise the tannery to make, and obviously the stock you'll make at your refined saw bench using poles. To make your gunpowder, you are going to need a refined masonry bench, and that's mixing sulphur and coal, which you can find in deposits in caves, and I do believe around antiquarian deserts and stuff like that. And then the ammunition is the gunpowder plus ingots, and you can see you get 32 of the pistol ammo here. It's more or less the same process for the shotgun and the rifle. You'll just have to maybe make a couple different type of components, but they should all be able to be crafted in the refined benchings that I mentioned. So a convoluted process, and I'm going to repeat it as if you're 3 years old. You need to get the refined working benches. You need to go to the provisioner realms, and you need to complete the little quest for Bass to activate getting the refined workbench itself. You need to unlock them augmentations and place them down next to the relevant crafting benches, making sure they've got the green lines to activate seeing the recipe, and you need to buy them recipes from the different traders. You won't get access to the better guns until much later in the game, so do either recraft the guns that you've already got or make sure that you've got the best materials possible. The best metals for helping give more range damage is, I think it's called the pernium ore. It's level 100 and it basically is green, so you'll find this in abundance in lots of places. This was a provisioner forest, and as far as we could find when I tested it out in the preview build, that was the best stuff for giving you better damage with ranged gear. I'm going to do a min-maxer's guide to getting absolutely the best gun and weapons you can get. But obviously that's going to take a lot more time, so I need to get to the end game and make sure I'm showing you all the different materials that you can use to make the ultimate weapon. But for now, just go ahead and use your tin or whatever other ores you've managed to pick up and just double check what they've got on them in terms of ratings. If one of them does say that it does more range damage, then obviously use that to make your action, make your barrels to hopefully get that bonus applied to your gun. You will pick up a bunch of elemental ammo in the special gold caskets that you can find in some of the mini dungeons that you explore. Basically, anytime you go through a Fey portal into one of them bastilles, it should have some of them gold caskets and they'll give you elemental ammo. Otherwise, you won't be able to craft the elemental arrow until you've got to the watch and explored the Ascended Realms. The pistol does have a special shot where you can unleash all 4 bullets in one go. On control pad, it's clicking in the right stick, and that is pretty much it. Obviously shotguns are always powerful up close, so if you want to get close to something and unleash, great. Rifles are good obviously for picking off enemies at distance, and these pistols, they do feel kind of weak honestly, but if you learn how to use, especially loading all 4 bullets at the right time and really picking your shots to get their weak spots, it can help out a lot. And like I said, by having the right charms on that you get from things like the training dummy, you can increase and do a lot more damage. Ultimately though, to get the best upgrades for this, or to make sure you do more damage, you need to get the refined upgrade bench. Now that's the only one that you won't find in the provisioner realm, and it doesn't explain this very well, but you won't actually get that until you go and explore part of the gloom realms, which is like 2 levels above. I know it seems a bit odd, but I'm guessing they're trying to stop people from being it too easy, because as soon as you can start upgrading from uncommon to rare, i.e. from green to blue, you'll notice huge jumps in your armor and your weapons. So yes, if you're wondering why you can't upgrade your gun, but you can upgrade pretty much everything else to uncommon at least, I'm pretty sure you need the refined workbench to upgrade your guns. So I hope that video has been useful. Obviously that is a lot to digest if you're only just stepping into the game and you want to get a gun straight away. It is a process, it will take a while, and obviously getting the best out of your gun. You got any more questions about the guns, do let me know. And look out for a more advanced guide where I talk about all of the guns once I've unlocked them in the full game. I did do it in the preview version that I had, but I don't really want to be using just that footage, especially as they may have changed a lot of stuff. As previously, ice ammo was massively OP in the preview. It pretty much obliterated everything, so I'm sure that's been balanced and changed now. I also am going to work on a charms guide showing all the different charms that are good for ranged combat especially. So there we go. Leave a like, make sure you subscribe to see more Nightingale video guides come in, and come and check me out on Twitch. I will be streaming on YouTube as well, but at some point it will be more on Twitch TV. JADE Plays Games. Laters.